Hello. I've tried to record this video a number of times. There are reasons why it's taken me this long. The first ceremony that I had, I was deprived of any kind of psychedelic experience because there was a dialogue between ayahuasca and I. It's just starting to kick in. It was taking me a long time, and it seemed like other people were purging all around me, but I wasn't purging, and I felt like I really wanted to purge. I was here to purge. So this first ceremony, she says to me, "Oh yeah, no problem. You want to purge? Yeah, that's great. Is that so you can share your experience on YouTube and just exploit the whole story?" I was like, "Not exactly, but I am gonna share it with people." And she was like, "Yeah, no, sorry, can't help you." Like, why? Why not? If you intend to share this story, I will not give you the healing that you're here for. That's why. That's why I haven't shared the story with you guys. It's not that I don't want to. I want to do her justice, and I want to honor her as much as I can. She gave me some very difficult lessons in the jungle. She gave me some very hard experiences, and I'm never going to forget it. I put my life in the hands of an indigenous tribe and trusted that they would keep me alive in times when I literally thought that I was dying. So there's ceremony number 1, where I'm in the dialogue with ayahuasca. She basically slammed the door in my face. And from that point on, I was sober. I didn't realize I could ask for a second cup, so I moved through the whole ceremony pretty well sober, having, the shaman go through the whole ceremony experience with like leaves, hitting me with leaves really hard in the face and in the head, and just beating me over the head with a bundle of leaves over and over and over and over again, having my ego just deal with it. The next night, I had an actual ceremony where, well, I guess they were all actual ceremonies. And you know what? I don't even want to disqualify the ceremonies where you don't have psychedelic experiences, because there is work happening whether or not you hallucinate. I feel like now it's okay because I waited, but I also want you all to know that it's not about the trip, okay? It's about the lessons. And the next video is going to be about the integration. And I promise you the integration is a lot more interesting. Here we go. I take 1 cup of ayahuasca, and it takes 10-15 minutes before it hits me really hard. And I moved into this pretty cocky because the night before I barely felt anything, and I was ready. I was ready to do some work. And it happens. It knocks me out completely. I end up falling back into DMT space. I fell into that death trip that I shared with you guys. Right back into this compression of time melding and bending and twisting, and my whole being just completely disintegrating. And the only thing I could feel was nausea, and the only thing I could be was vomit. The only thing I could be was just this like I was just this disgusting purge. Like I was the purge, and I was being released, and I was releasing it. This constant infinite circuit of vomiting and crying and screaming, to a point where the shamans, 2 of them, came over to me, one on either side, and they were tending to me, and I was really grateful to see them because I had no fucking clue where I was, what I was, who I was, none of that. I need help. Like, I need help, I need help. Like, that's all I could say. Those are the only words I knew. I need help. Help me, help me, help me, help me. That's all I could say. And grabbing onto their hands, like, please help me. I can't stop throwing up. And they start to give me water so that I can drink. And every time I drink, I would throw up like 10 seconds later. And I was just so lost inside of the illusion of what I'm experiencing that I could barely grasp onto this reality. And the only thing that made me feel okay was holding on to this shaman's hand, or holding on to his arm, or holding on to him somehow. That's the only thing that made me feel anchored in this reality, because if I close my eyes, and it was really dark anyways, if I closed my eyes, or if I dissociated from that at all, I would just fall into this ever-folding, infinite, purged space. And that was not comfortable. It felt really horrible, and I completely lost myself. Like, I was completely lost in time. All I feel is hands in my mouth like this. And there's something something being given to me, and I hear this soft voice, here, take ginger, eat ginger. And he gently offers it to me, and I'm like mouthing his hand, like it's like I'm literally learning how to receive food for the first time, like a little baby bird, you know. And I take this little piece of ginger, and I'm so grateful, you know. I'm like so grateful for this little piece of help, that I receive it, and I'm like, thank you. And he gives it to me, and I eat it, and I drink the water, and I feel a little bit better. And he's like, yes, and he's teaching me what love is. And I'm understanding that we are rewriting a circuit here, you know. I'm rewriting a circuit where I felt like I couldn't get love when I needed it when I was younger. And I don't know when that happened, but we are rewriting a circuit there. And so he's showing me what love is and what it means to be cared for when I need it. So he's giving me that, and I'm experiencing gratitude like I've never experienced before. I learned how it felt to be loved by a father. I received a father's love inside of this space of fragility and fear and vulnerability. He took me to the fire. He picked me up, and we walked with my bucket to the fire, and I didn't understand what fire was. Everything was brand new. It was like I just got here. And we're looking at these glowing orbs in the distance, and one of them is a lantern, and the other one is fire, and I'm looking at these two things, and I'm like, what is that? And he says, fire. And I was like, yeah. And so we approach fire, and I have this like novelty about fire as I'm approaching, and I'm just like, yes, this is exactly what I need right now. And I go in front of the fire, and I have my bucket there, and I have my water, and it's like I have everything I need. I missed a part, actually. Before I left, there was this moment where one of the members of the retreat came over to me while I was in the midst of some really peak moments of feeling very afraid for my life and feeling very scared. And he came over to me, and he touched me on my shoulders, and he was like, hey, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna pass. You're gonna be okay. I looked back at him, and he looked so familiar to me. It's like I immediately downloaded this history between us. I understood that he climbed all the way through hell to let me know that everything's going to be okay. And I was so grateful for him. You know, I was so grateful to have found him. And previous to this experience, we barely connected in the retreat. We barely had any contact. And for any of you who's interested, that is Micah. Okay? I'm not going to get into that whole plot line. I did allude to him a little bit in the previous video. It's a whole other story. I go outside, and I'm put in front of the fire, and I am, you know, throwing up a lot still. It's not like that's past. I'm throwing up a lot and feeling really afraid for my life, actually, because I can't seem to keep any water down. I'm throwing up a lot, and I understand now at this point that water is important, and if I can't take in water, then I am going to dehydrate myself and die. So it wasn't that level of understanding, but I knew that I was in danger. I kept saying, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, as though that were possible. And who knows, like, what? I'm in the middle of the jungle. I'm trusting that these people are going to be able to take care of me, and I had to surrender to the fact that they are capable and equipped of doing that. And I had to trust that I'm exactly where I need to be. I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I'm going through this whole circuit, this whole terrifying sorrow, this whole not wanting to let go of this body, not wanting to let go of this narrative, not wanting to let go. I am fucking resisting all of it. So the purge continues, and the purge continues, and the purge continues. The shaman's on my left, there's another shaman on my right, and they're just like working on me. There's this guy, he's just like, he's pulling it out of my neck, he's sucking it out of my neck, he goes up to my neck, like that, just shooting it out, just releasing it, and he's giving it to the fire. He was doing work on me at first, and then there was a moment where it felt like he was handing me the tools, and he was saying, this is how you do it. And So I saw what he was doing and I felt what he was doing, and I could do that myself. And so I started to be my own shaman. I started to release it myself. I started to feel and command the energy to move through my body and out of my hands and out of my mouth. You know, like I would spit at the fire, or I would like with my breath just and like the power of my breath, I could feel it releasing, and I can still do that. There is such intensity that wakes up inside of me when I have the intention paired with the breath and the choosing to release that energy. Like, I can let that energy go out of my hands anytime I want to, and I can direct it and I can say where I want it to go. Like, I bring it to the fire, I bring it to the fire, I bring it to the fire. At some point I realized that I have been left on my own to just be with myself, to do my own healing. And Micah was there periodically checking in. He was having his own experience. There were a bunch of people who had eventually gravitated towards the fire, and you know, some people were throwing up and they were moving through their own process, and we were all just in our own spaces. And yeah, it was my experience was really intense. It was the loudest out of everybody, I'm fairly certain, and I couldn't feel bad about that. Like, my egoic self would probably feel bad about that, but I just couldn't. I was dealing with so much. So the stuff that I moved through, how can I even get there? It's like a lifetime of things. It's like lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes of trauma releasing itself through me. And and I don't just mean my lifetime. I mean the complete familial lineage behind me, like my family's traumas. All of them were asking to be released through this channel that I had created in this moment. Like, all of it was trying to come through me, and I was allowing it because I knew that I could do it. Like, I knew that I could release it, and I knew that I was available and that I was spiritually able to let this pass through me. And I saw the opportunity. I saw the opening in myself. I saw the opening in myself. I climbed in, and I saw that it took me straight into my mom's trauma when she was a child. And then I had a dialogue with her. I was my mom's mom, and I got to a place where I could love her, I could care for her, and I could free her from the demons that are around her, those fucking shadow creatures. I could just release every single time. I spent hours releasing this energy for her, this darkness, this pain, this sorrow, all of the grasping, all of the attaching to her suffering, all of that shit. Just fucking let it go. It was such an intense experience, just accessing some very primal spaces within myself, letting myself scream like a fucking animal, just channeling it through my voice, channeling it through my breath, through my motion, just being this completely powerful, spiritually charged entity, just taking control of the fact that I am not one to be possessed by demons. I'm not one to be possessed by darkness or dark energy. I am fucking taking back control of the reins. Like, so what happened inside of this experience was my higher self taking the controls. So my higher self got into dialogue with my inner child, and she let her know that she's not alone. And she was like, they rekindled the friendship. There was something that broke or spliced off when I was a kid, and my child self has felt alone my whole life. My child self has lived inside of me feeling very alone, very unworthy, not good enough, all of these things. And yeah, so the higher self was like, hey buddy, like, don't forget, like, I've always been here and I've never gone anywhere, and I'm always going to be with you. So there was a merging and there was a union that was strengthened, and that has been with me ever since. And I have no interest in letting that break. I feel stronger than ever now. Yeah, like there are two forces very much alive inside of me. My higher self is more now than ever, making decisions for me and showing me, the things that I need to do to further myself along the path of my soul's evolution. And I'll get into that in another video because it's like a whole other story. Not only was I able to heal my mom's trauma, but after that, I got to look at my dad and I got to see, like, I got to forgive him. I got to release him. I got to release him from any of his pains and traumas, and I got to love him and love that little boy inside of him and be his mom, and see that he is also just a very sad little boy who doesn't know what it is to be loved, and there's just so much pain, and it goes all the way through his family too. There's just trauma on both sides. There's just so much pain on both sides, and so I love, 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 love. It's okay. I forgive you. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay. We're all just doing the best we can with what we have, like with what we've been taught, and it's okay. So, yeah. There's a lot of rich stuff that happened that day. I got to connect with the butterfly. This was the lightness inside of all of it. This creature that was that woke up inside of me. The butterfly. I had no idea. My whole life. I've had this connection to the butterfly, and I've been in a way denying it. Thinking it's this cheesy symbol for some feminine aspects, but that's not it. Like, my mom, before I went to Ecuador, she gave me this little butterfly that I collected. It was a dead butterfly that I found in a parking lot when I was a kid. My mom gave it to me thinking that I could take it with me so that I would feel like something from my past while I'm there, to feel anchored in my reality. She thought that would be helpful. Of all the things that she could offer me, she offered me that. I didn't feel like I could bring like a butterfly carcass across the border, so I didn't bring it with me, but it ended up being a very prominent metaphor for me, and it was very much stitched into an art piece that I had been working on up until that point too. It's called The Space Between. It's a piece that I currently have at the float center that I work at. Basically, it's two faces that are looking at each other and shooting off, it's like two faces and then poof, like this. So it looks like two faces and they're exploding outwards. And it actually also looks like a butterfly, like the wings. Inside of my trip, I became like the butterfly. It's like I shed this cocoon that I had been inside of this whole time, and I started to remember what it meant to fly. And it's like I was also connected to the future of knowing that I could fly, and that I've lived many lives being able to do that. And it's like I got the memory restored of knowing what it feels like to have these wings and just be able to, like, fly through space and have that kind of freedom and strength. Yeah, that was also very beautiful. And anytime I felt like I was dipping down, because the whole experience was a lot of dipping down and then recovering and bringing myself up again. And it was all about learning how to do that for myself, I had this higher self as like a coach saying, like, it's all gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Remember the butterfly, the wings? What about the butterfly? Like, remember that? What it's like, like to be a butterfly. And that was just really, really beautiful. And the butterfly was a really strong symbol for me throughout that trip as well. And they were everywhere. There's some really cool butterflies out there for sure. There was even a butterfly with invisible wings. It was gorgeous. That's the experience. I hope that I did it justice. I don't mean to exploit it in any way. I feel like I did okay sharing that with you guys. The details certainly aren't as clear as they were back in May. I've let a lot of this sit, and I've let a lot of the details fade, because, to be honest, there's so much learning that happens from experiences like this that's actually more important right now. And I'm actually still in a space of integrating, and I don't know when that's going to stop or if that's going to stop. I've been on this epic trajectory of learning and evolving and self-awareness like I've never experienced before. Consciousness inside of, noticing the patterns and behavioral circuits that were unconsciously running before, and now I'm conscious of them. Every single scenario that I find myself in is an opportunity to witness my mind in an entirely new way. Every single thing that I experience is no longer an unconscious experience. It's a conscious watching of an unconscious experience, and then I get to sit with that, every single time I encounter something that's difficult, I get to at least also watch it, you know? I'm not just in it mindlessly or in it like a slave. I'm in it and I'm moving through these motions, and I'm also watching it all unfold, curiously observing it. And that has been epically profound. And it's a side effect to the whole experience that I had in the jungle. And I'll unpack that for you guys in another video. For now, I mean, I think that's pretty much all I can give you guys at this point. I'm sorry it's taken me this long. I'm sorry and I'm not, because I was honoring myself in keeping it private, and it's what I needed. So I think that's number one, very important, you know, taking care of the self and making sure that everything's okay before we go ahead and start sharing these kinds of details. Finally felt available to share that, and it came to me in a float today that I was like, today's the day, it's happening. So yeah, that's it. That's what I got. Thank you guys for your time and attention and your patience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that you all have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope you're all caring for yourselves, and I will talk to you all again soon. Bye bye bye.